Okay. Recording in progress. Okay, thank you very much for everyone coming tonight. Here is our pre-made pavlova. So I'm going to dress that up tonight before we go. And then I'm also going to make another one so that you can see all the hints and tips and tricks, because there is a few. And then we're also going to do vegan meringues, which is using the aquafaba, which is the liquid from our chickpea tin, which is very exciting. You'll love it. You'll be amazed. And then also Claire is in the Thermo Empire team, and so is Wendy. Starts in 6 days' time. She's joining us as a consultant. Yay! Welcome, Wendy. So she's on as well. Okay, so let us look at, I've put the everything in my week, as you do, and a little bit of a biryani and chicken jalfrezi I'm going to try out tomorrow or later. Okay, so I'm going to make the mixed berry pavlova stack. I can highly recommend the gingerbread one, and then also there's a plain one, and then there's like a chocolate swirl one, which is also really good. But I thought I'd show you this one. Okay, so mixed berry pavlova stack. If you can see, we've got our prep time, total time. We've got our prep. So we've got our raspberry coulis, then the pavlova, and then the raspberry cream. So now if I just wanted to make the raspberry cream, if I'd made everything else before and I just wanted to make the raspberry cream, you can see when I just press on that, it highlights it. I could just tap on that and it will go straight to that step. So then I didn't need to go next all through the recipe. But what we'll do, we will start cooking. So 200 grams of fresh or frozen raspberries. Well, let me just say I'm not buying fresh right now. We have frozen. I think I'd love to be able to, we actually have a, oh, there we go. We have 2 blueberry bushes in our garden, but I think I'd like to get some strawberries and raspberries going as well. 100 grams of caster sugar. So obviously these recipes are not for the faint-hearted with the amount of sugar in all of them, but obviously it's a share around. Oh, it's gone a little bit too hard with the clonk. There we go.
Ideal for special occasions.
Correct. And I'm getting inspired by Christmas in July. I actually went to a ladies' lunch on Tuesday and we had Christmas in July. It was lovely, really good. 20 grams of lemon juice. So I've got that. Three grams. Okay, insert mixing cup. Now, if you can see my lid there, it's looking a little green. Because I used turmeric and actually made curry the other night, that actually doesn't transfer taste, like any flavor or any color to my food. And once it actually finds up, I'm actually going to pop it outside in the sun. It's about half an hour in summer and about an hour in winter. And it comes back to normal. So that's a handy hint for young players. Here we go. Next, so 4 minutes, 90 degrees, speed 4. So I'm just going to turn it up to 4. There we go. Now, can everybody hear me? Because I'll do some more handy hints and tips if we can.
Yes, can hear you.
Oh, Good.
Yep.
Oh, sorry. Turn my earbuds up.
Cool.
Okay. So the hint and the tip, the major one, is for Pavlovas. What we want to do is, not that one. I'm a little bit special as a team leader. I've got 2 machines and 3 bowls. But what I've done ahead of time is I have actually put my butterfly in the bowl and cleaned it. I've done a vinegar wash, and I've kept this separate, especially since we've only got about 45 minutes to an hour tonight. I wanted to take away that time that I needed for that. What I do is I put a cup of vinegar and three cups of water, so it adds up to a litre in my bowl. I have the butterfly in, and then I actually set it for 10 minutes, Varoma, speed 4. And that actually does a full clean. It's probably a little overboard doing 10 minutes, but I'm in the habit now. It's what I do. So it's 10 minutes, Varoma, speed 4. And then I just pour the water out and I let it air dry. So that then the theory of that is that there's no protein, there's no, everything has been wiped clean inside that bowl, so that there's nothing that could contaminate our egg whites when we go to whip them. So that's what I do beforehand. Usually, if we're at a cooking class, I would mark that as please don't use this bowl. So we've got 1:52 left. So that's my handy hint for that. But you'll find when I actually do the aquafaba meringues, hints and tips with Pavlova. Oh, there you go. Lovely. Thanks, Claire. When we actually do the aquafaba meringue, you'll find because it doesn't have that protein of the egg white, you actually don't need to clean the bowl, as you know, you just take it out of the dishwasher or wash it normally in the sink. You don't have to do that extra preparation step, which actually makes it a lot easier. And you know what? They taste fantastic, and you couldn't really tell. So as you can see here, we've gone over 60 degrees. So our lights have turned red. We're at 85. The Thermomix won't always go to the temperature that the recipe asks for. Just trust the Thermomix. It will judge where it's at and what it needs to be doing. So, oh, there you go, 90. So you don't need to add any time. All right. So I've got my jug ready to go. What else? Anything you can add, Claire? Any hints and tips from your side? Have you done much? Have you done much?
I haven't done much Pavlovas, but I certainly I've done a few eaten messes.
Yes, much easier.
Where I break up the Pavlova, but I think one of my hints and tips that I quite like at this time of the year is using the egg function, the egg mode, the egg.
Yes.
Put the eggs in and boil them. I've actually started putting my vegetables in there and using the soft mode. So I quite find that handy at the moment.
Oh, that's good. That's good. All right, so there's our raspberry coulis that you can see. I'll bring it up to there as well. That's going to be awesome. So I know I want to pour it later. So it actually says put it into a bowl, which I know will make it cool down faster. But I wanted the ability to be able to pour it as soon as I was ready for it. That's all right. Cool. So that's lovely. I will just stick this in the fridge for 2 seconds. Oh. Right. Okay, I'm back. So then we go to our next step, clean and dry the mixing bowl, which I've already got another bowl here that I actually did the sugar in before. So next, preheat oven to 150 degrees. Line 2 large baking trays. So what I've actually done, I actually did it with baking paper yesterday. However, today, I'm actually going to use my rose gold trays with my mats from the mix shop. And the large, so this one's that's the large tray, and this is the extra large tray that actually has the circles with the sizes on, which is really cool. So I've only got one of those, and we're going to want 20 centimeters, which is that one. There we go.
That's quite
sorry?
I was just going to say that's quite clever to have a mat that has that already on it.
And then also these ones are going to be helpful when we do the meringues. And when you do, I've made macarons twice. First time way too rushed, made a schmozzle of it. And the second time was much better, but I'd love to actually try it again when I've actually got time to sit and do it properly. So that's one of my challenges coming on. So it says trace 2 circles onto the underside of each baking paper, and then set the baking trays aside. So then we've got 200 grams of white sugar. So we're actually doing 330 grams of sugar total. That's what the ingredients say. But because we want to do everything in the Thermomix, we want the quality. So we do things in batches. So when you mince your meat, you do 200 grams at a time. When you chop pure Parmesan, you do about 100, 200 grams at a time. It's all about quality. So this is another step where we want the quality, not the quantity. So we do 200 grams of the white sugar.
Lisa, it's Mel here.
Yeah.
I've got one of the mats with the wings on, so for the size of the Pavlova, but I think it's a pastry one. I don't think it's one that goes in the oven. Would that be right?
Right, yes. So you've got them with the other mats that we have. But wait, there's more.
I've got the green one. Yeah.
Yes. So that's an oven mat. That is an oven mat.
Yeah.
For your trays. So I put my I make scrolls, cheddar mite scrolls and stuff like that. I put them on that. And then you've got the bread mat, which in theory can go in the oven, but it's way too big and floppy. I'd never put it in the oven. And you wrap your bread in that to rise it. And then you also use it to roll out your scones or your bread and all that sort of stuff.
No worries. Thank you.
No worries. Yeah, it's bumming. But wait, there's more. There's more things. Okay, so insert measuring cup. Then we're going to go 15 seconds, speed 9. It shows me where 9 is. It won't let me go past 9 on the first go round, and then it will tell me when it's done. There we go. So to stop the actual chiming of our Thermomix, you can actually touch the screen, press the button, or just press next. So there's always 3 different ways of doing stuff. So that says transfer into a bowl and set aside. You can see it from the top there. I'll also bring it here. So there's our sugar. Put it down a little. So we need it in a big enough bowl and have a spoon, dessert spoon, soup spoon, ready to go as well for when we get to the point where we need to put it back in. Next, so 130 grams of white sugar. Next, set the measuring cup, and then same thing, 15 seconds, speed 9. Yep. Next, transfer in the bowl. So if you actually have 2 bowls, you can do the next step, which is cleaning, obviously cleaning the bowl. You can do that beforehand, but if you don't, then you can still do it, but you need to, obviously once you've washed the bowl out with the hot water, so thoroughly clean and dry the mixing bowl. So because you're going to Veroma and you want it to air dry, just make sure you're not in a rush. So add that time, factor that time in to do the 10 minutes vinegar wash and then letting it cool down afterwards. But here's one I prepared earlier. There we go. Now, they're actually filling in quite a lot of videos into our recipes now. So I'm just going to show you this one. So inserting the butterfly whisk. It says pop it in, and that's it. So I will give you slightly longer explanation of that. So the blades, I'll try and do it here. I'm not sure. Let me know which works better. The blades actually are all different shapes. You actually have a blade that has that goes up over the top, and that's actually, I call that the lump. You can just call it the highest blade if you like, but handy hint for young players to know that underneath that highest blade, not sure if you can see it, is actually a blade symbol underneath. Not that it helps you when you're trying to put the butterfly on when you've got food in there. But anyway, that's something to know. So you want the highest blade, and we want to go left of that lump. So left of the highest blade, turn it a little bit left, tilt it so you can see, and then pull. And that's actually locked in. Now that is the way to put the butterfly in, but some of the time you're actually going to be putting the butterfly in when there's food in there. So best guess is good enough. So I'll show you the way to do it, and then you just do what you can when you can. But the reason that we do that is that these blades are closer together and the other ones are further apart. So it's just a better way of doing it. Any questions with that one? Let me know. Okay, so approximately 250 grams of egg whites. So the other handy hint, major handy hint, wash the bowl. Very important. Vinegar wash the bowl. The second one, leave your eggs out at least 24 hours. At least 24 hours. And then for if you want to make meringues, actually separate them and leave the egg whites sitting on their own for the 24 hours. So you can take them out when they're cold and separate them, but then leave the egg whites sit. Yep. Okay. So 250 grams of egg whites. Crack a few extra just in case. Oh, there you go. 252. Perfect. And then next, a pinch of tartar, cream of tartar. Now I made pavlova for my family at Christmas time when I was over in Canberra. And I didn't have the cream of tartar, and I didn't have, what else did I have? I don't think I had the corn flour, and it still worked out just fine. It was a little bit wet on the bottom, so it wasn't perfect, but it was still completely edible and delicious. So without measuring cup.
Lisa, quick question. How much is a pinch?
How much is
a pinch? So, you know, when you say a pinch of something,
right.
I know it's between two fingers and yeah.
So you've got a little pinch, and then you've got a Greek pinch. A Greek pinch is 2 full big fingers and toss it in. So I do more of a Greek pinch than a normal pinch. So it's one of those, how long is a piece of string things. How much do you do, Claire? Do you do a little pinch or a big pinch?
I probably do a little, but then I might even put a little bit extra in. So I probably do that. But I would say
I just did two.
It's usually say, for example, if it is salt that you're pinching, picking it up with 2 fingers with your thumb, just a little bit.
So it's definitely 2.
Probably under if you're looking at like a teaspoon, a tablespoon, and all that sort of stuff, it might even be half of a quarter of, in a pinch. It's an approximate.
About 8. Yeah.
That sounds about, that feels that would probably equal a pinch.
Yeah.
Because some people like to be exact with cooking. Me, I just throw everything in with,
and mostly with the Thermomix you can throw in, except for there are a few baking things that you want to be slightly more exact. And then also we have our sugar stages where you can make your honeycomb and your lollipops and your caramels. And with the TM6, it wants precise measurements for the sugar stages when you're making these things, because I discovered I'm quite the chucker, threw a few extra grams of sugar in, and it was too much. And the machine itself said to me, weight is not as described. I will not perform this function. So it was a bit depressing.
Yes.
Claire, did you want to talk a little bit? Did you want to show them? Have you got Cookie Do Up?
I do. I have Cookie Do Up.
Yeah. So maybe show them the couple of different pavlovas and types and stuff.
Yes.
One thing I actually did, that was what I was going to say. Christmas before, I actually made the pavlova mix, and then I made nests. So I piped the base, and then I did kind of like a vol au vent, but bigger, with the pavlova. And then I was able to do little pots of chocolate and cream and strawberries and stuff like that. It was fantastic. It was like, the party things that you do where you have the lolly table and they can just put whatever they want on. That was really good.
I think I remember seeing pictures for that, and that was amazing, just to have people decide what they want to put on them when you're catering for a big crowd. I think this is a dessert that you'd want to go to that can, especially in the summer as well.
And then there was no waste because everybody had a little bowl and ate the whole thing, had a little basket of pavlova and ate the whole thing. So there wasn't all the bits and pieces of pavlova everywhere, which was really good.
Oh,
All right, if you want to pop that on, and I
Right.
will just go and wash a bowl.
okay. I'm going to share, and hopefully this works. And hopefully that you can you can see everything, and I might need to okay, right. I might need to actually can everyone see what I'm looking at, or
Yeah, can see your screen with
you
the
can?
recipe.
Yep, perfect. Because I can't see it, so I'll just move the other bit down here, and move it over. So with cookie dough, just going in here, what I've done, I usually have quite a few things filtered. There's a way when you go to the filters that you can actually have ticked all the time. And yeah, please let me know if you can't see things at any time. There's a Thermomix accessories where you can tick the blade cover and the blade cover peeler. So though for the moment, I'm just going to take them off. You can also search in your languages as well. Currently I've got English, but there is a way with Google Translate that if you want to experiment or you want to have a look at, say, for example, if I take off English, I have got 82 results that are all different nationalities, different languages, and all of a sudden this one's Italian, and it's asking me automatically to translate to English, so I can translate and read it in English. Obviously, when you are bringing up this recipe on the Thermomix, it will have the original language on there, but you could always hold your phone over with the Google Translate and read it through your phone. If you want to experiment with another another recipe from another country. But I'm just going to go up now. I can go back one. So I'll just go back in and filter on English. Oops, sorry. Issue when I don't use a mouse. Here we go. It's back over to English and shows the 15 results. So just by putting that in, there's quite a few different types as well.
And then the wreath, yeah, that's beautiful as well. Yeah,
it's lovely.
I'm just going to go again, if that's all right.
Yes, go for it. Do you want here? I'll
if you can, unshare.
I will. Gonna make. Sorry. I've got to get
up the top. Yeah,
up top. I've made my there we go. Sorry everyone. The Zoom section has made very small, so now I've got to try and work out. Here we go. Oh, there it is. Oh, no, there it is. Oh, sorry, people. Sorry. I want that one.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Mine's reverted to the bottom, so I apologise. It was hiding.
No worries. Cool. All right. So we've got the start of our pavlova. So that's just the egg whites that are whipped, and the cream of tartar. So then what we're going to do So next, with the butterfly whisk still in place, we go next. So it's going to do 5 minutes, 37 degrees, and speed 3 again. And then what it's going to do, it says, meanwhile, follow the next steps, which is putting in my sugar a bit at a time. And then after that, we add a couple of other ingredients and then keep whipping it. It's actually quite forgiving. So it says slowly add the reserved sugar. Now, what I actually do is I take the spoon and I tip it to the outside rather than right on the top into the butterfly, because I find I get a much better result, and I don't get as much sugar still just sitting on the butterfly at the end. So don't rush it. We've got 5 minutes. I'll just pop it in. And then give it time to mix. And do it again. Again, and you can actually still see the time that we've got up the top there. So I rushed it before, but like I said, it's actually very forgiving. The other one that I made, it said, you know, within 40 seconds, throw in the other ingredients, the corn flour and stuff. And I actually hadn't had it ready. So I was fluffing about a bit, and I probably took 3 or 4 minutes, and it didn't hurt it any. Does anyone have any questions at the moment? So with ones like the chocolate swirl, you actually do that at the end. So you just get a little bit of a swirl in rather than mixing it all the way through. So we're just taking our time. So hubby's at work and daughter is away at a training camp. So I'm alone at the moment. So I've actually knocked on the neighbours' doors to see if they would like a Pavlova at 8:10. When we're finished and I've taken some photos. And then this one that I make now, I'll take to a thing tomorrow. So the other keys, sorry, go on.
Sorry, Lisa. Wendy's asking, why did you say make them the night before? Why would you make them the night before?
Now, the reason is it does say you can make the Pavlova and then just leave it in the oven for 3 hours. So it's 150 degrees for 10 minutes, this one. You turn it down to 120 for an hour, and then you leave the door of the oven closed and leave it shut for 3 hours. Now, especially when you're doing meringues or those Pavlova nests that I was doing, that's not really long enough to dry it out so that it's not sticky when you're serving it. So the best thing to do, the best result that you get is to do it the night before. So make sure that you stay awake long enough to do the 10 minutes at 150, and then the hour at 120, then turn the oven off, leave the door shut, and go to bed. So then it's another one of those things that the more time that you give it, the better result that you get. So yeah, leaving it overnight in the oven that's cooling down actually gives you the best results. And then you leave it put it in a container maybe, and then dress it when you're ready to go. because, you know, putting cream and all that sort of stuff on it well before you're going to use it can make it a little bit sloppier. But if that's, but you do what you've got to do. So if you've got to do it and then take it somewhere, well, then that's not a problem. Okay, so 14 seconds left. So that was it. Just scoop at a time. Take your time, no rush. Okay. So the next, yep.
Sorry, Lisa, just a quick question. When we spoke before about the egg whites, once you separate them and leaving them for 24 hours, I assume you leave them in the fridge, or what would you do?
No. The egg whites have to be room temperature.
Ah, okay.
They have to be out of the fridge for 24 hours.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So storing egg whites in a container on the side or just you just store them, you just leave the eggs themselves out, or do you've separated them?
I left the eggs out just in their
Yes.
carton for 24 hours.
Okay.
And then separated them. But I was watching something, listening to something, can't remember what it was. But the person was talking about if you're making meringues, separate them as early as possible to get a bit of a skin on the egg whites.
Oh.
Is it worth cleaning the glass bowl with vinegar? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't, but maybe. So with butterfly whisk still in place, so can everybody see how shiny that is now?
Yes.
I'll bring that over as well. There we go. So super shiny. And it's one of those things that we're all scared to start trying to do, but really it's, you know, if you just follow the instructions, it's actually super simple. I was intimidated when I first did it. So 40 seconds, speed 3, and it says, meanwhile, follow the next step. So I'm going to turn it to 3. So 1 teaspoon of white vinegar. So I've actually done that before now, this time. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I'm quite the, teaspoon, tablespoon, whatever. And then 2 tablespoons of corn flour. So I'm just going to knock off the top of the butterfly. So like I said, when I did this before, I wasn't organised. So all I did was I actually went back whilst it was going. Hang on, let's go back. Butterfly whisk in place. So I can turn that, and you actually have the ability to change the time. If you need more time, you can actually change the time. Even though you're following a recipe, you've still got control of what you're doing with the Thermomix. So next, remove the butterfly whisk. Now, I don't do that because I'm a schmozzle and I will make a massive mess. So what I do, we'll go next, spoon the mixture into the tray circle guides. Now, if you were going to do a wreath, then you would put it in blobs around the circle. Let's do this one first. Now, as much as I absolutely adore my spatula, I actually get the old flexi job out for this one, for this job. And so remember, I want to go for the second circle in, the 20 centimeters. And what you do, there we go, scrape it out. And like I said, it's actually fairly forgiving. So if you were putting it into a piping bag, so long as you're just gentle and soft with it, it does well.
I think definitely doing what you're doing there, Lisa, with the whole vinegar. And I think that makes a difference. I don't think I've done that before.
Oh, okay, when you've tried to make one.
Tried to make.
Yeah.
And Wendy's commented that the first one she made with the TM31 was magnificent, as the bowl was brand new, but hasn't really had the same result. Though rinsed in vinegar, but not the 10 minutes. So it's really good. I mean, to see how well that is, I think when I've done mine in the past, it's been quite flat. And
so like,
obviously,
and who'd have thought, like, you know, I was the worst, well, I wasn't the worst cook in the world, I just didn't cook. And now, you know, you can just by following the instructions and knowing a few extra hints and tips, you can make just amazing food and show off.
Well, I think that's good, isn't it? That to know, you know, when you do want that extra handheld for a recipe that you've never done before, knowing that you can just press next on a TM6 is quite handy. I'm not the cook in my family, but the things that I have made now, because I have the confidence, because I know I have all the information in front of me, and you don't have to look away to read a book.
I mean, that was always my big thing. I always missed something in the recipe. The other thing too, like if you come along to a few of these, you might actually find that I've not actually tried the recipe out myself before, and I'm just trusting that the Thermomix will do it. And we've not had, apart from the time that I read that something was going to take 3 minutes and actually was 30 minutes. So we didn't get to do it because we ran out of time. But that was personal issues, not the Thermomix itself. But see, like, so you can put that in a piping bag and not have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the butterfly out and actually do that to get as much off as I can. So it does get a little bit messy in the end. How are we going for time? Is everyone going to be all right if we do a few extra minutes because we're going to do the meringues? Does anyone need to rush off? Yeah? Cool. All right. So, so to make a wreath, you want to do clumps around. What else? If you want to make a nice big one. Now, the best meringue I ever made, and I've not recreated it yet, is my friend who's an awesome cook that I grew up with, went to school with her in Canberra. She actually made, I don't know, it was probably about 3 thin pavlovas. And then in between the pavlovas, rather than cream and stuff like that, was chocolate, like a thin layer of chocolate, and then cream and chocolate on top. Oh my God, it was amazing. It was amazing. All right, so what I'm going to do is I will walk over and put these in the oven. So like I said, so we'll get back to our recipe. 10 minutes at 150. And then, like I said, 120 for an hour. And then it says, turn the oven off. It says approximately 3 hours or overnight. So there's where our overnight comes in. You just get a better result. And then next, right. So what we'll do is I will whack these in the oven and wash my hands. If you want to chat to Claire, maybe about maybe your story and what the latest deals are, and I'll be back in a sec.
I can do that. So at the moment, for until I think it's the 19th of July, we have the 36 months for the Thermomix, 36 months interest free with Zip, which works out to be about $16.97 a week. So so if anyone's got any questions on that one, we also have, if you purchase a TM6 between now and 9 o'clock on Monday, the 1st of August, you get 18 months of cookie dough free. So normally you would get, you would normally just get the 6 months, but you're getting an extra 12 months. And we also have at the moment, so if you host a cooking demo and one of our mode demos so that you can go through all the different modes, we have a host reward with the Smart Cooking Digital Cookbook and the blade cover peeler. So that's the blade cover peeler is quite a handy tool to have. Loving it with doing my garlic, beetroots. It's very good. So we've got a few things going on at the moment. So if there's anything that that you would like more information on, just ask us, and we're here.
Yeah. And then also a little advertising. One of the Saturdays in August, not quite sure which one yet, we're actually going to do an in-person cooking class in Fremantle. So I'm very excited about that. We get to see humans again, which is great. So we're just going to do our aquafaba meringues. So like before, total time and all that sort of stuff. So handy hint for young players as well is if you're meal planning and you're choosing recipes, always see how long it's going to take, because you'll find that one recipe where you're absolutely thinking about it all day and you really want to have it tonight, and then you start making it and then you realize it says marinade for 8 hours in the fridge, and then you're just sad. Very sad. And then you have to get I don't know, cheese on toast or something. So but that's another handy hint. And then you've got don't forget, you've got the hints and tips. So this one, tin chickpeas is called, the liquid is called aquafaba. It makes a great substitute for egg whites. So that is what I have done. We actually have one of the coaches is a vegan at the club, and she loves these. I made some for her. So there's our aquafaba liquid, like I said, from our chickpea tin. Nothing terribly exciting. And then what you do afterwards is you make hummus out of the chickpeas, which is yummy. So you're using everything, saving money again. Okay, so preheat oven to 100, which it'll nearly be later on. Line a baking tray with paper. Yep, 100 grams of sugar. So this one, like I said, I didn't pre-wash. I just rinsed it before. And we'll see the difference that it makes. And then feel free to speak up if you've got any questions at all. So 15 seconds speed 10.
Lisa, do you know how? Oh, can you hear okay?
Sorry?
I was just going to ask, I wonder how long the aquafaba lasts, like if you kept it in the fridge. How long
I would say maybe 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And then, but the meringues themselves lasted for ages, absolutely ages. But yeah, most things, yeah. So even it says if once open, use within 3 days, and they're obviously talking about the chickpeas. But yeah, same with the with the liquid, I would assume as well, once you open the tin. So transfer to a bowl and set aside. There's our sugar. Oh, let's use this one. 2 to 3 days in the fridge. Oh, the aquafaba meringues, really? Oh, see, I actually put them in a container on the bench, and they lasted for ages because they didn't go all soggy.
Oh, okay. So you can do that then. Okay.
But yeah, is that what the recipe says?
No, I just thought that that's probably what, if the tin says that, maybe you have to, but
Yeah, no, I'd say the liquid or the chickpeas would be 2 to 3 days in the fridge. But the meringues themselves lasted ages.
oh,
I had to share them out everywhere because it made a ton.
Ah,
So transfer to a bowl and set aside. Then next, insert the butterfly whisk. Like I said before, left of the lump, turn it left, pull a little bit. And then 100 grams of aquafaba. Okay. A bit of a drip. So pinch of fine sea salt. So I always actually mill my own salt that I'm ready for to use my teaspoons and stuff like that. Because I got really annoyed about having the who's it? So I'm going to do a good pinch. I'm going to touch more because I can. 3 to 4 drops of lemon juice. Oh, freshly squeezed. Yeah, that's not going to happen. 3, 4. So like always, you use what you've got. Insert measuring cup. And then it's 5 minutes, speed 3.5. And away we go. Let's see how that turns out. And then in the meantime, so I'll show you as well. Yep, button Jubilee. Oh, scones, yes. My favorites, because I'm lazy, are the lemonade scones. So it's like 3 ingredients. It's quite a wet mixture though, but they turn out perfectly every time, which is great. Are they plain scones, Claire? The ones that you've mentioned from the
yes, they're plain ones. I made them for the Jubilee when I decided to go mad and make lots of food. They were so easy. The mixture was quite crumbly, but it really molded together to make a good dough to then roll out, and were very tasty.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's what you'd also use your bread mat for, is to work your scones. And then with scones as well, you don't want to overwork them because they will go rock hard. So even if it's not quite mixed in, sort of gently do it by hand after you've taken it out of the Thermomix as well. All right, let's have a little peek. Can you see that? No, bit dark.
Just a little.
Just a touch too dark. Yeah, so what I'm going to do, I've actually put my, you can just use Ziploc bags, cut the end off, whatever you like. This is from the mix shop. So I put it into a container and then have it quite separate so that I can put it in without squishing too much. So that's another good hint. And then, yeah, you'll find this turns out really well without even having to do that extra wash and stuff like that. And I left it a few hours between the first lot that I did and the next lot that I did, and it was perfectly fine. It held up really well. Different flowers. For scones. Good question. What do you know, Claire?
I just use plain. But yeah, I'd have
Well,
to.
you've got those, so the softer one that Ivana talked about.
Yes.
When she did her pandan, that was a flour for cakes and pizza and stuff. No, cakes and cakes, I think. So your plain flour is your normal flour is 10% normally protein. Your baker's flour is about 12%. That's why you use baker's flour for your breads and stuff like that, because you need that extra 2% protein. And then Ivana was talking the other week about cake flour.
I've just Googled, and
It's like 8% or something.
yeah, which type of flour is most suited for scones, and cake flour comes up.
Oh,
So
we've all learned something today.
yes.
Cool.
And the reason the flour is the lowest protein content, 5 to 8%. So yeah, so it's quite interesting.
Oh, goodness. And that's the thing, like, everybody, even we learn something every week with our virtual classes, which is great. I always love learning new things. Okay, counting down, 44 seconds. And then, now, other thing, while we're talking, so when you're whipping your cream, if I don't quite get time, so I use this one, the Harvey Fresh, or use the white and blue browns whipping cream. It's got to be whipping cream. Don't try and so especially if you're making butter from your cream, don't use thickened cream or double cream, because it's actually got something in it that stops it from turning into butter. And then when you're whipping as well, you want to keep an eye on it so that you don't cross over from whipped cream, which is what you want, into butter. And it's actually the age of the cream. So we actually found Christmas before last, everything of cream that we use actually turned to butter really, really fast. So it must have been older cream that they've been holding back for Christmas, obviously. So remove measuring cup. And so 3 minutes, speed 3.5, and then save thing, add our sugar. But yes, if you go over a minute, you're likely to go from cream to butter. But some of the really fresh ones could take up to 3 or 4 minutes. And you can actually really hear when the butter and the buttermilk separate. It's quite a font, and it's very obvious. So Same thing with the other one. I'm doing it around the outside. Did you want to say something, Claire?
I was just going to ask if anyone has any questions or anything else they would like to know. Or even if there's anything that anyone would like to see. We do these virtual workshops every Thursday night. So if there's something that you'd want to see made, then we can do that as well. So always up for new ideas.
Yes, please. We've done pandan chiffon cake. We've done Pavlova now. What are the other ones? Some of the other ones we've done for
We've done the beef, the beef salad,
Oh, yes,
nut milks. The nut milks
Yep.
were really good.
the nut milks.
I was
Yes.
quite impressed with that. And one of the things with the nut milks, I made a fair bit and I shared with my neighbours. Everyone knows there's food that comes from my house. And I converted a couple of people that actually didn't like almond milk, purely because the shop bought gives an aftertaste they didn't like. But because I did the nut milk that had just the honey and salt. And so it was quite a natural flavour, wasn't too heavy. And that went down so well that I had the kids knocking at my door asking for more with glasses.
Oh, nice.
So,
It's good.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping to be popular this evening with my Pavlova. Nut milk this morning. Oh, lovely. Dehydrated the meal in the dehydrator. That's fantastic.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's better, I think.
Yeah. And yeah, there's so many things you can do with the meal as well. And everybody's looking either money-wise or also looking after the planet to use every part of the things that you have. Which is just a good thing to do as a human. All right, next, remove the butterfly. So there we go. Just as shiny. Lovely.
Looking good.
How's that? So this time I will, because there's a bit of a gap there. So I'll just get the butterfly off.
Wendy's trying to decide what she's going to use with the almond meal.
Torta crazy.
I found, oh yes, that definitely. And depending if you like a granola, there are a couple of recipes out there that uses the almond meal in that. And I think then you use in both as well. You could probably use the almond milk.
So I haven't shown you, the best way to scoop things out of the Thermix is actually hold it with your thumb and hold your fingers under there, unless of course it's hot, and then put your fingers up a little bit. And then all I'm doing, if you can see, I'm just gonna put that in there. Bring a little thing up. Okay, you see that? Me and my mess. All right, so then go up. Plain one today. So I'm just using the I don't know what you call it, the waffle one. And see how it's not runny. It's sitting there really well. It's holding up. Oh, and I did not turn my Pavlova down. And that was about 20 minutes ago. So before I freak out and panic, let me go and do that. Then because these won't grow anymore, so I can just do that. And then there's still probably about half of that left.
Wow, that's quite a lot.
Yeah, and there's still about half left in the thing. All right, let me turn that down. Kitchen timer. All right, groovy. And because I've made those Pavlovas smaller than the ones I made before, they're actually sitting up quite high. And it does make a lovely crunchy on the outside, chewy on the inside pavlova. But yeah, there's our aquafaba meringues. Then transfer to a piping bag. So 2 hours at 100 degrees, easy as. And then remove from oven and leave on a tray to cool. So you don't even need to do that step where you need to leave it overnight. So these are even great if you need to do some meringues really fast. They're a lot less fragile than a normal one, and no one can tell the difference. All right, so what have we got? Are people done, or would you like me to whip the cream and whack it together? What do you think? Up to you guys if you're happy to hang around. Okay, store in an airtight container until needed. So same thing with your pavlova as well, just the pavlova piece or meringues. But once it's got cream and stuff, you have to put it in the fridge for health and safety reasons, obviously. Thoughts? You guys want to stay for another 5 while I dress it up? Let me know. Yep, thumbs up from Mel. All right. Well, I will just go and wash another bowl, and I'll be back in 2 seconds. Actually, no, let's be cheeky. I've got the bowl from the sugar that we milled. So I'm actually going to put the cream in, and then it'll just use the, it'll just add a little bit of sugar to it to make it nice and sweet.
That sounds good.
And that saves me from cleaning up. All right, so I've got another butterfly. So this one is the same as my lid. It's looking a little green there. So don't forget to stick it out in the sunshine, half an hour one side, flip it over and bake it on the other, and it turn back to black. All right, so let us put in, I'll just put a bit in. So now I haven't gone all out and got, you know, blueberries and raspberries and all that sort of stuff. We have our lovely pathetic amount of strawberries for topping, but that's all right. We've got the raspberry coulis to add as well. So I'm going to put in, so whipping cream, you just put in what you think you need-ish. There is a recipe, but, you know. And then dial it up to about 3.5. And you'll know that your butterfly is on, butterfly is on correctly, because you will hear it banging around if it's not. So, just, no, let's have a look. So probably after about 20 odd seconds, I'll take it off, because before that it's quite splashy. I don't know if you can hear that. So even I worry about how far my cream's gone. All right, so I reckon that is probably pretty good. What do you think? It's all right? Right. Then, maybe that should be all right. And then also, I was talking to my friend, and they actually put vanilla bean paste in the cream as well, and a little bit of sugar. And that's actually called chantilly cream. And we have the toddler in chief making his presence known. All right, I'll just grab the raspberry out of the fridge. That's cooled down quite nicely. Let us go back to my week and see where they've actually put it. I'm going to scroll down to, oh, raspberry cream. That's all right. Add raspberries. Okay, well, we haven't done that. That's all right. Assemble the pavlova. Place one of the pavlova discs onto our platter. There we go. Half of the raspberry cream, and then decorate with cream with half the fresh mixed berries and 1 to 2 tablespoons of the coulis. So I'm going to save all of my strawberries for the top. So like I said, you just use what you've got. Don't worry about, you know, if things aren't quite how the recipe said. Oh, that looks good. Okay. Next, put the remaining disc on top. So let me show you. If I peel that off, you can see that that's cooked underneath as well. And the other ones that I've just made are a little bit thicker than that. So they'll have more chew in them. And these ones weren't perfect circles, as you do. And then, yeah, cream, mixed berries. And then everybody, of course, has their favourite toppings, whether it be kiwi fruit, or strawberries, or all of it. But yeah, check out the other ones like the gingerbread one, or you can make, rather than making strawberry coulis, a caramel sauce. That would be amazing if you did that. Spread this out a little bit. So I probably should have done a little bit more cream to make it a bit more full. That's all right. And then I'll just get the last of my cream out. Oh, I'll do strawberries first, and then I will drizzle my raspberry sauce. Oh, let's see what the picture says. So always you have a picture at the start and a picture at the end. All the strawberry.
I think everyone wishes they were your neighbour tonight.
Yes.
Lisa.
I said, oh, is after 8 o'clock too late to bring your pavlova? Like, hell no. And then pour, because they've got the drizzle down the side. Let's get some drizzle down the side going. Of course, the mum in me goes, it's going to clean that up. There we go. Awesome. So that's that then. So we've got Pavlova and our vegan meringues, and we're all good to go. Any questions before we wrap up? No? Thank you so much, everybody, for coming tonight. So don't forget, it's every Thursday, same Zoom code, same password, Thursday, 7 p.m. And yeah, different theme every week. And we'll try and teach you all sorts of tips and tricks and goings on. Yeah, sure. Ask a question later. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so thank you so much for coming along. And if you're interested in joining our team, we've got a half-price business kit at the moment and 36 months interest-free. So never a better time. Yeah, thank you so much for coming along.
Thanks, Lisa.
No worries. Thanks, Mal. Thank you so much, everybody. And yeah, share your pictures when you make your pavlova or your meringues.
Thanks, Lisa.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
No worries. Thank you.
Good night.
Thanks, everyone. Good night. Thank you.